Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video, which just wanted to do a middle of the day market update. It's weekend. We're actually seeing some volatility in this weekend, so that's interesting, and we'll also talk about some things that are going on in terms of altcoin movement, but also wanted to do already a bit of a preparation for next week. And what to expect over the course of this weekend. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make a middle of the day market update tomorrow. It would be sad if I wasn't, because I very much like making these updates. But pretty busy right now, with some other things in real life, so I'm not sure. But we're back with a full video right now. We're going to get into a major week. I mean, we have major economic data coming out. We'll talk about that in a moment, but outside of that, now I think tomorrow, but also today, and possibly going into Monday. I mean, the reporting is a little bit mixed on that. We have the United States or Trump meeting, I think with Keir Starmer, so of the UK, somewhere in this weekend. I think he's in Scotland right now. And I believe on Sunday, so tomorrow, with Ursula von der Leyen, which is obviously from the EU. So we could get some major news from that, which will cause major volatility on Monday, right? I mean, what happens usually in a weekend, and most of you know this, but if you don't know, then you should. So I'll tell you, but usually what happens is that volume dries up, liquidity is usually pooled, or at least LPers, so liquidity providers, pool some of that capital, so prices move more easily, right? If you have $10 million, you can more easily move the markets compared to Monday. And then Monday, a lot of new money comes in, not all the liquidity is back, and we have volatility. And especially if we get some news regarding the trade deal between the EU and the United States, that's going to be major, right? And look, I think it's kind of priced in. Well, no, I mean, I think it could go both ways. I mean, if there is a trade deal, I think Bitcoin can actually break out. And if there's no trade deal, I think we're going to get a massive, well, not a massive, but I think we're going to pull back at least. So be aware of that, and keep your eyes on the news if you're interested in that, of course. And then next week we have some major economic data. I will try to keep you updated on that throughout the week. But Monday, Tuesday, not that much. Tuesday we have job openings. Wednesday it gets bigger with GDP data, ADP employment change, and the interest rate decision plus the press conference afterwards. Important. And then Thursday we have initial jobless claims, PCE price index, also very important. And then Friday we have unemployment rate and NFP, non-farm payrolls, also important, right? So that's going to be major. We might see some de-risking before that. Keep that in mind. But ultimately, you know, be ready for those things, because they will make the markets move. All right, but talking about Bitcoin is looking fine, right? I would actually say that the volume over the course of this Saturday has been pretty good, right? So we have reclaimed back into this range right here. And even though it happened, no, it actually happened yesterday, so that's fine. But now we're getting some momentum, kind of confirming that we're back into this into this balance right here, which you can also see right here. And we're doing that on a Saturday, but with quite a lot of volume. So I trust it. I think Bitcoin is fully back into this area right here. And given the strength we've saw right here in combination with the fundamentals, I think it's most likely, first of all, that we will stay in this consolidation and that we will have a bullish breakout. But like I said, I mean, if we don't get a trade deal between the United States and the EU, I think there's a realistic possibility that we'll still do something like this. And then hopefully they will make a trade deal and we'll do something like this. But I'll keep you updated on that. But those are my thoughts on kind of the fundamentals. Bitcoin. I saw that XRP today had a little bit more momentum, and what I forget to say, no, I mean, this is what I said this morning. I still stand behind this, right? But this does mean that we can get a move into that level at 3.4 and 3.35, which is a pretty big move, right? And I did not explicitly say that in my video, but getting there, I do expect. I just think breaking above 3.4 is a bridge too far. I think it's most likely we're going to reject there, and that we're going to get into some stability and some balance right here. Now, what I briefly, can I quickly check that out or not? What I wanted to show on Ethereum, which I also try to talk about quite a lot in these videos. Ethereum is trying to break out, which you can see right here. Right, so the value area high right here is at the 30 or 3,770. to get a bit of margin. Ethereum is trying to break out. I don't trust it. We still have some resistance there. The volume for Ethereum is quite low. I'm very bullish on Ethereum, but I think it's more likely that this is going to be a fake out if we do break out, and that we're going to retest at least 3670 before we can get an actual breakout. But Ethereum itself, you know, also as a bridge to altcoins, Ethereum itself is still very, very strong. I mean, this morning I briefly spoke about Ethereum Beta. I think ENS, so Ethereum Naming Service, is still looking incredibly strong. I personally don't think these are interesting enough at this point of time when we're talking about the risk and reward to buy right now, but incredibly strong. You should keep an eye on that. And with a deeper pullback, 100% a buy. Athena is in that same boat, and Curve is in that same boat. I think the same about all of them because all of them look quite similar, especially Curve and ENS. Definitely keep your eyes on them. Buy right now, meh, I don't know. And when we're talking about some other altcoins, I mean, this might be boring, but some of the major altcoins are just looking quite good. If you take a look at something like Litecoin, I think Litecoin still easily can get into 136, which is a pretty good move, especially if you're going into that with leverage. I think some shady price action is going on with Aptos, but Aptos is now at the bottom of the range in bullish market circumstances. I think you should pay attention to that. And then last of all, this is what I saw this morning. This is TrueFi, so this is the ticker. Huge amount of volume. Last time we saw volume like this was the March 2024, before we had a massive rally. So it could be interesting as well. Keep your eyes on that, but that's what I think you need to know for next week and this weekend. Hopefully it helps. Thank you for watching. Take care and bye.